September 1986. I'm still in Texas. I've moved from Lackland Air Force Base to Camp Bullis for special combat training. I believe Camp Bullis was outside the city limits of San Antonio, and did all sorts of crazy things while I was there. Fired a Laws rocket. Fired, I believe it's the M203 grenade launcher, which gave me the worst bruise I believe I've ever had. And hip fired an M60 while hanging off the side of a Jeep. That was pretty fun, even though I was just firing blanks. But I had time to read while I was there doing all this crazy stuff. And it looks like I read 7 books. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know. We'll see. Number 1 was Wilderness by Robert B. Parker. I believe this came out in 1976. Something like that. Not sure. It's one of the few standalone novels that Robert B. Parker wrote. And it is the story of Aaron Newman, just an average guy. And one day while he's out jogging, he witnesses a murder. So he goes to the cops, he reports it, and when he gets home, I don't remember if it's just when he gets home from the cops or when he gets home sometime later, he finds his wife naked, tied up on the bed with the killer's initials carved into her stomach. So he goes back to the cops, tells them he won't testify or something, and then he and his wife and his friend, who's a military veteran, decide that they need to hunt down and kill the killer, or he'll never be safe. It's Robert B. Parker. I'm sure I enjoyed it. Don't know if I've read it more than this one time. We'll find out together as we go through this list. Yeah, it's fast-paced, quick read, as most of Robert B. Parker's stuff is. Not as memorable as the Spencer books. Number 2 in September 1986, Shadow of Death by William X. Kinzel. Not sure how you say his name. This is a book in the Father Koestler mystery series, Koesler. Not sure how you pronounce that either. And it's just a religious-based mystery. Some cardinals are being killed. Father Koestler, or whatever, has to figure out what's going on. I think William X. Kinzel is best known as the author of The Rosary Murders, which I believe was made into a movie. Forgettable. I don't know if I've ever read anything else by him. Number 3, we're getting some interesting things here, I think. It's an interesting mix. So we've had 2 mysteries. Now we're getting into fantasy. The First Book of Swords by Fred Saberhagen. I so wanted to say Swords, just because I like to say that to amuse myself, but it's Swords, of course. First Book of Swords. Checking my notes. This obviously the first book in a series about the 12 Swords of Power. This one, the sword is Wound Healer, which does what it says. It's a healing sword, and our main character needs to find it to heal his son, I believe, and of course all sorts of obstacles in his way. I don't know that I ever finished the series, but I'm pretty sure some more of these books are going to pop up again. Number 4, With a Tangled Skein by Piers Anthony. This is one of the books of the, what do they call, the Immortality Incarnations, or Incarnations of Immortality, whatever it is. So a woman becomes one of the Fates and has to fight Satan. I again don't think I finished this entire series. I do remember that On a Pale Horse, the first book in the series, which was about somebody who becomes death, was my favorite. But I mean, at the time I was really into Piers Anthony and enjoyed these. But you know, things fall by the wayside, so I don't know that I finished the series. Next, we have The Invisible Empire by Flint Dill and David Marconi. This is the first book in the Agent 13 series. And Agent 13, it's pulp adventure. Uh, the covers are fantastic. Very, very old fashioned pulp look to them. Agent 13 is fighting this group called the Brotherhood, which are sort of an evil Illuminati. Is that redundant? Looking at the description, it said that they were behind the Hindenburg, they were behind Hitler uh, in their bid to take over the world, and Agent 13 is trying to stop them. The next book, The Serpentine Assassin by Flint Dill and David Marconi. This is the second book in the Agent 13 series. And in this one, Agent 13 has been brainwashed by the Brotherhood, and, excuse me, his associates have to save him, keep him from being a pawn of this evil group. And I did not mention moments ago when I was talking about the first book that Agent 13 was originally a member of the Brotherhood before he broke free and became a good guy. And then finally, we have Ashes to Ashes by Don Pendleton. Don Pendleton, probably best known as the author of the Executioner series, and which is a big men's adventure type of thing. And Ashes to Ashes is the first book of 6, I believe, in the Ashton Ford Psychic Detective series. And it's still, men's adventure, lots of violence, lots of sex, but I think much less gunplay than in the Executioner series. And again, Ashton Ford is a psychic detective, so he's got special powers that he uses to help people. And that's it. But like I said, I think it's a pretty good mix. We got some mystery, some fantasy, some old pulpy stuff, some adventure or thriller, I suppose you could call it, maybe. But that's it. It's pretty simple this time. Not much to say about any of these. Again, I'm a huge fan of Robert B. Parker, so Wilderness was good. Fred Saberhagen, if I recall correctly, even though I read a few more of his things, wasn't a huge fan of his writing style. Piers Anthony, we're probably going to see a bit more by him, but he's one that sort of fell out. I haven't read any of his in decades. The Agent 13 stuff, don't remember how the writing was. I wouldn't mind picking these up again, giving them another try. Even just the covers are so fantastic. I love those crazy pulpy covers. And then the Don Pendleton, I wouldn't mind reading those again either. I don't know how many in that series I read. But, I mean, that's it. It's a pretty basic month. Nothing going on too much except me getting crazy with the combat training. Lots of craziness going on there. But some pretty basic reading. That's it. I don't have anything else to talk about. So if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. If there's going to be any spoilers for anything, please post a spoiler warning. Let's all be polite. Please like, share, and subscribe. And that's it. So until next time, read more books.